Where have you been?
You know what?
Where have you been?
Stuff. It's good stuff, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Lots of funny things have happened.
Yeah.
Man, you know, for one, you gotta mention right now the fact that it's been like 10,000 degrees outside. You seen this?
Mm-hmm.
The weather outside is insane. But for the last 2 or so days, it's been under 100 for the first time, and I can't remember how high. I mean, it's like 97 outside, right? And totally insane.
Right now in Tulsa, Oklahoma, what's the exact temperature? People are running around the park.
97. Right now, 97. And the insane thing is Riverside, I've never seen this packed. It's insanely packed. Totally crazy, right? Everybody's out at the parks, everybody's out doing stuff, they're having a great time, and you know, all this great stuff is happening. And so many great movies have come out since we last popped the show off. Have you seen any good flicks recently?
Have I? The last flick I saw of note, I watched the remake of The Thing. You know, the classic remake of the 50s Thing that starred Kurt Russell, so the premise was still the same. That's about it. Now, have I been to the big screen, right? Seen any of the new movies? No.
Okay, so I saw Neighborhood Watch recently.
Oh, no.
Okay,
okay.
Go for it. No, so Neighborhood Watch, right? Neighborhood Watch is, it's got a whole slew of phenomenal actors. And it's about...
Ben Stiller leads.
Ben Stiller. Vince Vaughn. And who's the other guy? Who's the other... there's some random dude who's totally new. And then...
the guy from...
What's the other dude's name that's in the movie?
Jonah Hill.
Huh?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah, right. So Jonah Hill, right? And this is the funniest movie. They've got aliens that have come out that are abducting people and taking their skin, right? Then they're in this Neighborhood Watch, and they found a way to make this movie light and really fun, man. You had all this craziness was happening where they're getting like wasted and blowing people up, and apparently...
And having some fun with it?
I don't want to ruin it for people.
We have to come up with a rating system. Some sort of rating system. Like Man Cow in the morning has Pete the Manatee with 2 flippers up.
Yeah.
Roger and Ebert have 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
What would you have? Like popcorn bags?
Well, you could be popcorn bags. You know, like I'd give it probably like a 3 or 5. I thought it was funny.
Of whatever the item is.
You know what I don't like, and I kind of was leery of that going into this movie. There were so many funny things in the trailer that I couldn't wait to see those in the movie, and they were less surprising or funny to me when I saw them. And I wish they would have had in more Easter egg fun in there. You know, like more stuff that was just like, oh, you didn't expect that just out of nowhere, because they did have some really.
So all the funny parts you saw in the trailer.
About I'd say about a third of them, and it was kind of like I was like, that's no fun.
Yeah, that a third's kind of. I wonder how that rates.
And I think it's because. You know, I think I watched so many of those show commercials because they were like airing them during the exact shows I was watching. Like they geared that movie perfectly to my demographic, I guess. You know, or whatever. It's so like drilled out on it. I don't know. I dug it. I chose to see that. I have yet to see the Batman movie. Have you seen the new Batman?
I have not seen the Batman movie.
And I really was contemplating seeing the new Batman movie and checking it out, and I felt leery of doing it because I got done watching a special on CNN on the lives of these people, and I got to thinking to myself, I don't know if I could enjoy that movie just yet. You know, like thinking about all the people who went to enjoy it, who were so excited that they were there and their friends weren't on opening night. They just got leveled.
Well, and then the level of fear that goes up. You know, anytime you're in a movie now, I don't think that you can help but think, you know, what if?
What if? I mean, this is someplace that you've always feel comfortable. Maybe you felt cold, maybe the floor was sticky.
Well, one of the girls that died had a premonition, I mean, funny in this sense, not funny ha-ha, but that she was actually in the shooting in Toronto the week before.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then she had a permanent, like, I feel like this is going to happen again, and she was right. And I think it is. It's going to happen again and again and again. And it happened in Wisconsin, last week. at the Sikh temple. Now, what is interesting in both of these cases have ties to mind control experiments and the government.
You watch so many sci-fi movies, right? So many sci-fi TV shows. You see these, where people are erasing other people's minds and making them kill this movie, and they're gonna kill this guy in this movie. Remember that movie Conspiracy Theory? Or like Erasing Theory?
Yeah.
And you see something just so utterly horrible like that from a guy who was like gonna be top of his class neurosurgeon. Talk about loving the world, and you gotta wonder
his father.
If the possibility is,
Well, of mind control, it's absolute. It's absolute. That's it's absolute. Multiple shooters at the Sikh temple. The video cameras had all been turned off. The place was being scoped out the day before. The guy who killed them, whoever was left dead at the scene. Again, it's kind of early in the investigation to say, well, he shot himself.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, but there are about 70 bullet holes, and I've seen the way this works. You really want to account for everything. It stinks like maybe, just maybe, the federal government is going for a gun grab.
Yeah.
What kind of the buzz, the fear, the concern, everything like that about this is, and that's no fun. That's no fun. No.
That's one of the things I like about America as opposed to other countries. I think one of the things that keeps Americans in power, right? I mean, like, look at Syria, for instance. And I know this is crazy, and I'm not saying, like, the government's going to act like Syria did this. I mean, like, that's not our government. That's other people's government. Our government indirectly affect your life. But they could directly if they wanted. But here's the thing. So, I like that, like, Syrians right now are trying to get their hands on different stuff to try and rebel against their dictatorship.
And they're getting their hands on it. And it's Al-Qaeda. It came out on Thursday. The Council on Foreign Relations said that the resistance in Syria had been flagging and had not been effective, but Saudi money coming to Al-Qaeda fighters, what they say, again, I'm sure we could link it. It's a CFR document, go internet search that. But money, arms, and material and manpower have been coming into Syria. Syria is a very large country. See, we think in terms of the Middle Eastern countries, the bigger ones being Saudi Arabia and Iran. Syria is pretty big. It's about half the size of Iraq. So this is a sprawling territory out in the desert.
And they are having a rough time. I mean, like, they just recently started getting tanks and stuff now. Like, the rebels started acquiring tanks and mass...
well, there's no doubt, and I think Henry Kissinger was talking about... Was it Kissinger? Was talking about maybe Syria is going to end up into a fractured state. And, again, a lot of the...
Because the buildup, it's going to become like a Vietnam, like North and South Vietnam.
Sure it will be, and that's the history of the whole wretched place. That's why we just need to get out of there,
But historically, right, if you look back to like times of Babylon, I've been told I wasn't there, but times of like Babel and stuff, there's no walls, there's no rivers, there's no mountains. This is an entire area where people would just invade other people over and over again because it's just desert. All you had to do was just cross the desert with your hundreds of people.
Take out a little village, and boom,
a little bit, and then
you've got a million square miles.
And then it's just people are just wiping each other out back and forth. And this has been going on, the Crusades. We haven't ever ended this thing. And so your cousins, brothers, sisters, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins haven't known just being free. Just like having the ability to just walk outside and walk down to the QT and buy yourself a Coke. Go home. It's always been somebody on your streets blowing up a car. Somebody's trying to kill somebody else.
And even in gang-ridden neighborhoods in this country, where, I think what was the death rate among civilians or something was higher in Chicago than Baghdad for most of this year.
So,
how are we getting it so freaking wrong for so long? How is this going on? I'm stumped. I'm absolutely stumped. I'm absolutely stumped. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, know this: we are broadcasting live on Ustream.
Ustream, yes.
And so, if you're paying attention to your Facebook or Twitter account,
take a look, check it out. Keep in touch. But we're going to start trying to do the show live Ustream. This is a new thing.
It's a new
So
thing.
what you want to do is you want to go to the show page, TruTulsa.com. You want to go to the site, and then in the top portion of that, there's a thing that says live shows. Click on that link and check it out. That's what we're doing for right now.
Have we cleared like the Ustream copyright with doing the comedy shows at Fishbones Owasso?
Yeah, no, I mean nobody said anything to us. They like this.
They like that. Now the Ustream, we're thinking.
So we did the first Ustream thing live was last Sunday, right at the Fishbones in Owasso. We did a live comedy deal, and we got out there to do things, talk to people, stuff like that. But we were out streaming the entire comedic events live. And with the exception of the first comedian, it was all pretty good. I wasn't a big fan of the first guy who came up, and apparently he's been thrown out of a handful of different clubs.
Well, I like him already.
Well, no, I mean, he was like, well, I mean, and I think it was a nice guy. Like, I don't necessarily think the guy he started, but it's like comedy was like, I starts off with like religious, just like trying to tell people stories of religion as if he was preaching to them, and it's like, that's not only not funny, but that's not entertaining. Like, boo.
Well, it seems like that would be inappropriate.
Yeah, it was really. It just seemed awkward. Like you was like much like sitting in a chair that's like really uncomfortable. You just like wanted to get out of it, but you're like, would standing be worse, or is this gonna suddenly start feeling better?
So, did he deliver a couple of like homilies, and then when he saw that people were getting ready to crucify him,
when he saw that
then
people
he
were
pulled
about
out a knock joke?
No,
I mean,
I think that would have been better. Here's what happens. Okay, you gotta learn. So this guy, right? He's an older gentleman, and he comes. Hold on, just 1 second.
Oh no.
Where do I have this thing? I've got this guy who gave me yes. Ralph Wire. Have wit, will travel. Business card. Man gives me a business card. But anyways.
This is the man that got thrown out?
Yeah, so he gets thrown out of this deal. And this is crazy. So this guy, and it's like you feel the audience is about to stab this guy. Because it's an older gentleman, and I'm just like, oh, this is going to end badly. And this is all live on the Ustream, you know? And I'm watching users are dropping, watching this guy. Like, we had people on, and then they started dropping. And I'm like, right from the start, I'm like, no. And so this guy, right, he starts off, and then it starts to get weird. He pulls out his gift bag. He's like, over there, I got a $10 gift certificate to, like, Victoria's Secret or some shit. $10 gift certificate. Like, really? A $10 gift? And he says he gives it to the hottest lady to come up there and scream or something.
He said this?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like wanting to give it to the hottest girl out there or something. And then he's like, well, I'm not trying to have a whole bunch of people. I just like being mauled by, sexy women or whatever. And of course, I'm paraphrasing. But then the guy comes out to do the thing, and it's just like nobody's coming up. And this older black lady off to the side who's been screaming all night at this show. She's been screaming all night at the guy.
Like she's been heckling them?
Kind of just heckling the comedians, like she ends up doing this all night. But she starts off with this guy. This is the first one. And she's just like, oh, I don't know, you tell him, that kind of thing. And then she runs over and grabs the bag, the gift card off the stage in front of the guy. She's like, well, I'll take it, baby, But I'm just like, and then they cut his mic. Cut his mic.
Was it open mic?
Yeah, Billy Bazaar, he's the guy who hosts the comedy event out there at Fishbones Owasso. And he has to cut this guy's mic because he won't stop. And he's gone well over his time, and he was being weird, and he's just like, I'm like, oh man, yikes.
Well, did Billy have to throw holy water on him or anything?
Dude, it was a little weird. He kind of had to it was like, okay, cool, I'll be back next time you guys do this. And there's no, you're not gonna be back, man. It was terrible. They wanted to kill you. And you were done.
I think this is it. See, don't want to say kill. See, this is part of the atmosphere here, right? I mean, being funny, you have to be very careful nowadays.
Yeah, because there's a difference between funny, racist or awkward comedy, and they've got. No, we also did the Sunday before this. No, this was a couple Sundays before that. But Don Weaver, right? Don Weaver is a big. There's a big bartender here in town. Was for years and years and years.
I mean, he's like 450 pounds big.
Well, no. He does have a belly, and then this is crazy, man. This is they did at the same comedy place, the Fishbones in Owasso. They did a roast of Don Weaver. That's kind of fun, Like, have you seen the roast on TV?
Yeah.
Well, they did a roast of Don Weaver, and so they got this big chair, this big throne thing, and it says Crown Royal on it. Purple chair. I don't know where they found this.
It sounds kind of sweet.
But it was kind of cool. It was like.
Yeah.
I want one of those. Where do I get one? Like, if I had one of these things, I would totally, with honor, display it in my home. It was cool looking.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be in the main room, but anyways, but still, I thought it was cool. And so they found this chair and they stick Don Weaver up in this thing, but he comes out wearing all sorts of different stuff, and then he rips the pants and shirt off, and he takes the stuff off that he's wearing, this T-shirt. And he's wearing Crown Royal bags as if it were a skirt. And I'm just like, what the heck is this crazy? This is crazy. And you guys should check this out. There's a couple of shots of this on the YouTube, but nothing like you're gonna see on this against Blu-ray quality. If you're wanting a copy of that, let us know. They're not like $20, and come check it out. $20, $25, and well worth it. Very, very funny. Hours of entertainment.
Yeah, and it stars Billy Bizarre, Don Weaver, Colby Hallmark was out there, Jason Haley, and Kate Hansen. Someone else, and Have Wit Will Travel.
Yes, we'll get him out. We'll get him out.
Mm-hmm.
Check that horrible
That's
disaster.
hilarious.
Man, but we've been having fun out there. Guys, check it out. They were talking to us about possibly doing a deal at the CJ Maloney's. I don't know if we've locked in if we're doing this or not. But these have been the Fishbones in Owasso. Those have been the first Sunday of every month.
Each month.
Each month. And then the CJ Maloney's deal, which is out in Broken Arrow, that would be the last Sunday of every month, I believe.
Both places convenient from anywhere in the Metroplex, especially Sunday night.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're doing these comedy deals, so if you want to check it out, just check them out. If we're there, come out, enjoy the fun with us. We'll get you on camera. You'll have some fun. Woo,
Bring your beads, boys.
Bring your beads.
No. What else are you doing Sunday nights? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean seriously,
Nothing.
Come on. You do the church in the morning. You do maybe you go to work. Maybe you go to the park, something like that. Then come have some fun, have some laughs,
Or stay at home.
Or stay at home, if you're that kind of person. And watch it via the UStream.
But driving around these lonely streets at night, they are. I mean, really, after 7, it's like zombies. I mean, there's no one out. In other words, not the people. No, it's just there's not a lot of traffic. So point is that if we're in Owasso or Broken Arrow, you're then is it?
Now you got exactly. So now you can just tune on the show. Click in the show. Sundays we're doing stuff Sundays. So check out the show.
Download the Ustream app.
Do they
have
now here's the best thing.
Ustream app.
On your smartphone. On your smartphone, you can do it.
Dude, really? Oh wow.
Right? You can get it on your smartphone. You can download the Ustream app onto the smartphone. Android, Apple, anywhere Ustream is accessible. Your PC, anywhere, and check us out live.
We are worldwide stars now.
So you have no excuse for not checking it out live.
Well, speaking of roast, see, who was it at the? It was Roseanne Barr's roast.
Is that tonight?
And it was no. This was last week, and Dennis Ross came out. Now he's the Roastmaster General.
I know.
Twitter at Roastmaster General.
Him and Snoop are some of my favorite roasters that come out.
Oh.
But now I didn't see the Roseanne. What happened on the Roseanne?
Well, he did. First of all, he comes in as a Joe Paterno-like figure. He had the glasses on. He's wearing the Philly, whatever, Pittsburgh, what?
Yeah.
I don't even care. Okay, but he came as a character associated with that whole pedophile scandal. And then when he comes in, they're roasting Seth Green.
Yeah.
And they said that he's now the second biggest person with orange hair in the movies.
Yeah.
But at least the other one did something that people remember.
Yeah.
This is Dennis Ross. So it created a firestorm, and Comedy Central just cut it out. But then I heard him the next day on the Adam Carolla show, and he was saying that typically they cut out about half of the material that ends up actually in the roast.
Yeah, yeah.
So some of it.
So if you were watching live, if you were sitting
live,
there, watching, breathing it all in, you would have seen stuff that they cut out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You would have gone to. So that's why those seats are so expensive.
Oh.
You see everything that they think is terrible.
Oh, I'm sure that those roasts.
Worst roaster I have ever seen. What was the dude, the Situation from Jersey Shore? Worst roaster ever.
I can't imagine.
Exactly, right? He just gets up and he's roasting Donald Trump.
Huh.
And Donald Trump, right, is sitting there and he's just making comments. So he's like, "You're just fat, you're old, nobody'd sleep with you if it wasn't for your money." And I'm like, that's just mean. That's not funny. And the roastmaster general there had to go out and save him on this thing. He's like, "All right, guys, we all know he's terrible. We want him to stop too, but let him finish." I'm like,
wow.
Just to go save him, because people actually started booing him, and these have to be the roast of Donald Trump. These have to be $2,000 tickets or something. Some insane thing. Because it was I only saw 100 people in the. I only saw 100 people in the audience.
I would say they're priceless. I'm sure that it's all Viacom, Sony, bigwigs, and then a lot of the stars. They're stars. Probably friends.
They know they're going to sell this. They know that they're going to
sell already sold out
for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're thinking it's probably just tickets that they're just handing to people.
Oh,
I've never seen anybody buy a ticket for that.
No. There are probably more hand jobs and blow jobs going down to get a ticket there than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, seriously. To Donald Trump maybe himself.
But that's comedy.
That's comedy.
That's comedy.
But he took it like a champ. He took it like a champ. The only time he ever really got upset was when people started making fun of his daughter and talking about
good for him.
Then he was kind of you could see him kind of go it's not funny.
It was I think Stephen Colbert did something to the Donald at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when he did it, and when Colbert hosted that. And they did a smash cut to Trump from Colbert, and really he looks pretty. He just looks pretty just stony. I think would be the word maybe. Yeah. He was just looking very stony, and I don't mean his hair is growing out and he's smoking a doobie.
No.
He was not making a move, and I interpreted that as meaning he was pissed.
Yeah.
I thought he was angry. I think this made the Donald angry. So if he was smiling through most of this, then they did pretty good.
He didn't like it at all, man. Stephen Colbert's. That's a funny show, by the way. You guys need to check out the Colbert Report. I would give that easily most of the time, 5 bags of popcorn. Yeah.
He's a master. He's a master. I tell you though, just in terms of his craft.
Yeah.
One thing is when he first came out, you could tell where he was really trying to, or at least doing a really decent job affecting Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly is a master of neurolinguistics. Programming.
Yeah.
And he is a Bill O'Reilly, and so I think that is because he really brought Fox News to where it is. #1 primetime for close to a decade. And so I think Colbert, when he came in, I think, mocking that and doing it so hilariously.
But what was so funny is he was like.
Well, he was more straight-laced about it, not as wry with himself.
Yeah.
Now it's almost like he's self-aware.
of how ridiculous it is. And he's like
Yeah,
intentionally like,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I don't care because I'm only number one. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know how he's doing his slot, but I'm just saying that just watching him. He used to be a lot more like, and he would deliver things, like when he does his one-on-one interviews.
Yeah. Dude,
where he just sets somebody up. I mean, that is genius because he delivers them just deadpan.
That is, you'll just ask him crazy stuff. So
When did you stop beating your wife?
when did you stop beating your wife?
And he'll look him right in the eye,
And then
that guy's just,
So you're trying to, so you'll say, they'll say, well, I think I should go, I'm for everybody and cultural and humanity and stuff. Just, no. I'm for, what are you, so were you for Russian? What are you anti-American, sir? How long have you been anti-American? Are you a terrorist?
well, yeah, see, he delivers
And then,
those
they're
things
just
just
sitting there,
deadpan.
and they're looking at him like, are you joking? Why, what are you talking? And then he's just, no, I'm just messing with you, That's really, really, really awesome show. I think the man is skilled, but what I like the best on that is his encompassing factors of trying to tell you one side of the story by, engaging you to think about it by talking about how ridiculous people's objections are to it. In other words, going so far the opposite direction to make you realize it's an issue and something to consider because it is kind of ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Something to look forward to.
Are we still talking about Gobert?
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking suddenly, I don't know, somewhere, I started thinking about Jon Stewart. And see, I think the difference between the two of them is that Stewart's really not trying to play a character.
No, I think Jon Stewart is himself.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because he's a comic first, and then got into this aspect of it.
But I
like
think
so many of them do.
both of those guys have done such a good job of winning Peabodys and things like that for telling stories about stuff to really kind of lightening stuff so that you can see a different angle while watching their show, while still being incredibly funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome. I applaud their work on that stuff, and it's funny to see good guys.
I gotta watch it again.
Check it out.
Check it
out.
Well, I've been watching American Gypsies. I've been getting caught up on my Storage Wars. See, TV
so
and
tell
Tulsa.
me
Do we have TruTulsa.tv? This would be good. Oh yeah, no, because in Tulsa, TV is king.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the most compelling thing, and I do not think it is just in Tulsa. I think that TV is the most compelling thing wherever you go.
Yeah, totally.
So I've been watching the American Gypsies. It's great, but I'll tell you this much: if you've ever watched South Park,
yeah,
the mean one, Cartman, the guy on American Gypsies. I am not making this up. He is the real life Cartman.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I'm serious. Not enough time to go into it, but if you want to see the real life Eric Cartman, it is Vinny. Mark my words, Vinny Johns is the real life Eric Cartman. I mean, he kind of looks like him. He kind of has a weird speech thing going on. He's overweight, but it's all about the Romas in New York.
Yeah, dig it, man. So what do you guys think? You guys think it's a good show? You want to cut it?
Well, can we see how many? Are we going to edit this for YouTube versus a Ustream?
Yeah, we can probably throw this up on the YouTube. We're gone. We're
right. So
uncut, edited, unneeded edited footage. I mean, just straight run through. You'll see it live. Because I don't think it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
I don't know.
It's good stuff. No, this is good stuff. The roasting of Don Weaver.
This is better.
We're fans. We're fans of this.
Yes.
We're fans of comedy.
We enjoy comedy. Come out and check out the comedy. We enjoy funny things. Things that are ridiculously hilarious and ridiculously awesome. Definitely. I agree. Right?
Yes. How many viewers do we have right now on Ustream? I'm going to guess.
I'm going to say 20.
I'm going to say none.
I'm going to say 3. It's being a new thing.
Just put a number up.
All right.
Any numbers?
3. All right. So 3 it is. 300? Really? 65 people?
3.
Okay, so we know it's the first time we're doing this thing, so we're going to put this deal up on the YouTube. What I want you guys to do is next time pay attention to the Facebook and Twitter feeds. so you know when we're doing it live, so you can follow along. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's.
We'll get more social with the feed.
So again, Don Weaver roast.
Mm-hmm.
Buy, awesome buy. Tru Tulsa at TruTulsa.com. Shoot us the information. We'll get back with you. We'll find a spot to switch it over. We can do you know all sorts of different mess. Edwin's Blu-ray. It's awesome. If you know this thing right here, this will change your life.
It will.
If you've been a fat person and you want to be a skinny person, this is it. If you've thought about my life isn't fun enough, this is your excitement.
Just
baby.
reach out to the screen.
Reach out to the screen. If you thought you were hungry, just lick the screen. You won't be anymore. This will take care of everything you need, or at least all of your watching the roast of Don Weaver needs. I suggest a purchase of this.
Did Don Weaver ever get you drunk and get you like out back at all?
No.
I was just wondering about the licking and the. Yeah, I mean this is it.
No,
Yeah, you can
also doubles as a cookie when you've had no food for 10 years.
Follow Brett's Grindr account at.
Oh my God. No, and no.
Most people watching aren't going to get that, but the ones who do are going to be laughing.
All right, so it's been.
So this is our catch-up episode of the end of summer.
Okay.
Now, do we have commercial needs at all?
Do we?
No commercial needs? The producer's saying that. So here we go. So Paul Ryan. Now this is going to be it. Now this is rubbing the crystal ball there, like we did in Halloween.
Yeah.
Remember the Halloween episode?
I like that.
That was
great. Fun.
We got to go back.
Okay, so yeah, remember that too. And but yeah, do you want to run through like speed run of last crazy stuff?
Yeah.
Do we have it? Speed run?
What are you talking about?
Paul Ryan, Batman, things that have recently happened.
Oh, moving forward then into the fall, Paul Ryan. Yeah, the reason why this is important is because first of all, he has a good chance of being president of the United States, as any vice president does. This is a major decision for any presidential nominee.
So we know it's not going to be Jim Smith from Duncan, Ohio.
Correct.
It's probably going to be one of these 4 people will end up being president
at some point.
If
Obama
got whacked, or if somebody else got whacked, this is a real life thing.
By disease, by old age, but getting whacked by a lot of different ways.
Here's the thing:
This is voting, contingency thinking.
If you are voting for a presidential candidate who picks a vice president, right? Mm-hmm. The vice president's not a token role. The reality is something could happen. Always. Mm-hmm. There's always something that can happen. And at that moment, something crazy could happen. Then this vice president could become president. So you have 2 major presidents and 2 potential backup presidents.
In the mix.
How do you feel
in the mix. Well, again,
Who do you like?
Well, the emotional reaction, mainly the homosexual community. I'm not speaking for them, but apparently they like Paul Ryan. 6% body fat.
Well, I mean, they were talking about him being a gym rat. Mm-hmm. I heard his favorite music was Led Zeppelin. Anything Led Zeppelin, that's what he said. His favorite music on iPod, anything like that, is Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
He said he did, and then just as I was easing away from that, he was like, well, I've also got Beethoven on there, like as if we're all gonna think he's just some sort of a jock or an idiot or something for liking. And I'm like, Led Zeppelin's a good the man's a multi-platinum artist. Like, it's acceptable. Just go with Led Zeppelin,
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to throw Mozart on there to try and church it up.
Well, he doesn't have
to. And who works out to Mozart anyways? Like, it's an iPod. Like, I can't really think of a time when I would just want to take my iPod around and just listen to music. I think I would want it to be more of a trend.
And it kind of speaks to what an old soul he is. I mean, he's 42. I mean, really.
But
42.
How old is? Do we have any idea how old?
Rami is?
Yeah.
Ronami? He's about 60.
About 60.
About
okay,
60
so
under.
he's the younger cat on the ticket.
Yeah, by
and
far.
Flipped on Obama's ticket though, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Biden is old. He has plugs.
Yeah. Well, his plugs have plugs, right?
Yeah. They have to have them in stacked layers. I think they're using super glue and cadaver hair. I'm not sure.
Dude, when I look back on Romney, it's just like the things that just blow my mind about it. You remember the time he was like, everybody was standing up clapping. He's like, you sir in the back, you stand up, sir, stand up and clap. And then the crowd kind of subsides and moves aside.
You saw this? This did not happen.
It's a man in a wheelchair.
This did not happen.
Okay, no.
First of all, it didn't
This
happen.
was not Mitt
But
Romney.
then, right after that, Alan West went over and punched her.
Yeah.
That's what happened next.
But you gotta watch these things, man, because people will say these crazy things. And you gotta just pay attention to it.
You know, I know that also happened on the stump somewhere else. Oh no, well, McCain, George W. Bush was trying to raise his arm, and he doesn't know that McCain he wasn't able to raise his arm, so McCain's trying to tell him on the stump, oh, I can't raise my arm, dude. And then Bush is like, oh, come on, okay? And he's like, stop! Just like that. Bush was just going, come on!
And all
so
because the patriotism juices were flowing.
Yeah, they sure were. Oh, with Ryan and Romney, part of the deal is this: is they're trying to invoke Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Okay, and this has to do with Romney, the Ryan, Reagan. You get it? I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty clear, right? Now Ryan, the stump speech that he gave yesterday morning was more or less identical. I'd give it about 65%. Lifted, not lifted, taken from a speech that he gave in early May at the Reagan Library.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, a lot of for the conservatives, a lot of for most Americans.
Yeah.
A lot of good buzzwords in there, and it was all meat and potatoes. It was all real basic. It wasn't all this, what the conservative, the bourgeoisie would consider then revolutionary language. He wasn't talking about a revolution, and herein lies the concern for people coming from the far right. Now the far left will hate him because he's pro-life.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, probably on the marriage thing, probably not too keen on that either. I'm just thinking out loud here. I haven't seen anything about it. And so what's going to happen throughout the debates? It's going to be like he's going to be like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a mad genius. I'm 42. I'm the head and I'm the chair of the House of the United States Budget Committee, and I'm pretty smart about these things. And so I want to give you these numbers. And then the idiot liberal media over here is going to say, well, what do you think about gay babies? And he's going to be like, what I want to do is address the $15 trillion that we're in debt now. And my efforts, and I'm considered radical to reduce this to like $10 trillion by 2040. That's what I want to talk about. Well, what do you think? Why do you want to punch old ladies in wheelchairs, sir? And he's going to be like, ma'am, I'm trying to talk to you about something important. And then she's going to come back at him and she's going to say, school lunches used to be great. And that's what's going to happen. And that's the theater. Yeah. That's the theater. He expects them to do that. This is why they use the social issues to distract us.
Yeah.
And so he wants that to happen because then we're not going to ask the larger questions.
If you're what do you actually? What dollar amount do you plan to raise my taxes? What social service do you plan to cut?
Well, those are good questions.
Right?
Those are good
but
questions.
Nobody wants to ask those questions.
Well, the second word out of his mouth when asked about this, he says, well, he'll say, well, of course, through growing the economy and through austerity. Yeah. Austerity means cuts and any sort of social benefits. Now, I got to tell you, we would have more than enough money for all the social bennies you would want. For crying out loud, Pakistan has longer maternal leave than America. America's like at the bottom. I mean, like North Korea, like, yeah, you can take 6 weeks off after having the baby. Even they have more, right?
Yeah.
My point is this, is that we have enough money for all of these things, but we're paying so much in the debt that we should not be owing. Because the money that they say we owe them, we do not owe. They did not have that money to lend us. Ergo, yeah, you're right. The checks we sent out were bad too, but I'm just going to send down the line. You never had that money. But then they'd say, you have the goods. We'd say, look around with goods. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
So the real value. So my point is this, is that there are these larger questions, but they're not going to be asked of Mr. Ryan. Now, the Tea Party may, but because
see,
here's the thing.
That's why I think they went Ryan. Because Ryan always does the State of the Union rebuttal for the Tea Party, like he does the official one, and he has a few times. Pawlenty did it, I think, once. But he's done it a few times, the State of the Union rebuttal for the Tea Party.
Well, and the Tea Party faction, right? And this is the thing. This is why if I were a Tea Party, I would be concerned. Because he voted for TARP, the Toxic Asset Recovery Plan. He voted for the nationalization, the state-run ownership of General Motors.
Yeah, totally.
He voted for the Criminal National Defense Authorization Act. He voted for the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
He voted for He voted for the phony war in Iraq. You know, I mean, this is it. I mean, he is a Bush-era Republican. He is a Wunderkind. I mean, if you watch the guy, Paul Ryan is very smart. His dad was a lawyer. He did not fall far off the tree. He's very, 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 very smart person, able to think about these numbers in ways that I just can't.
Yeah, totally.
So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if that means that Romney is a lightweight in those issues, but I think they really brought him in to kind of highlight that.
Now the only downer is neither one of those guys are fairly known for, foreign policy at all.
None.
And Obama, for how much everybody said he had no foreign policy experience, that's something that polling consistently, people love his foreign policy. It's like 64% of Americans say that he's doing a great job in foreign policy. He killed Osama bin Laden. To Bush.
Well, no, he didn't.
Both terms couldn't accomplish it.
No. He died in 2002.
Oh, you think he died and we just kept him alive and then threw his body into the thing?
I do. Well, Madeleine Albright is quoted as saying something to, which were the presidential candidates to Gore, I think it was, in 2002, that they have his body on ice and that they're going to release it later on. For some reason, Bush never did, is the theory. And then SEAL Team 6 went in there to recover whatever asset that they had. It's important to know that most of SEAL Team 6, those brave men that went in there, they died. About 3 months later there, on a BS mission, driving up into Indian country, so to speak.
No, they were I thought they were in one of those Apache helicopters, the two.
No, they were in a Chinook.
Yeah,
they were in a Chinook.
Huge helicopters, like those double helicopters. They move the tanks in.
It's like grabbing a radio flyer wagon, saying, "Boys, hop on!"
They were in this thing, right? This Chinook, the flame, and every single person that was on that mission suddenly happened to all be in the same Chinook.
Yeah.
And it got taken out by a surface-to-air, by an RPG.
Yeah. Again, if you're flying up into these mountains, you go a few thousand feet. So you're coming right in. You're coming right in.
And so now here's what I thought happened.
They're not good.
Okay, now let me give you the flip side, the non-conspiracy flip side, that I still think is a conspiracy. Let's say we did get it.
All right.
Obama got him. Obama called it, got him. We finally found this guy. He's been hiding from us forever, right? And then this group of elite SEAL team members kills him, and then brings his body back and stuff like that. Well, let's just say
tap tap.
A couple of shots to the head. We clean it out. Not a single member is dead. We lost a spy helicopter, right? This big old deal. We lost a spy helicopter.
The UFOs got it, Brett.
But okay. So now then they bring these guys back and they bring them home, and then suddenly they realize, oh crap, these guys are becoming national heroes, even though we're not like the name SEAL Team 6 guy.
Oh, this is getting even worse.
They started finding them out. Who's who, and they said, we've got to protect these people. We're gonna take out. We're gonna say that they died in this big helicopter, and we're really gonna change the names and put them in some sort of witness protection program. Here's $1 million apiece. Thank you for killing it. Well, you think that's possible? I think that's an interesting possibility.
Well, that narrative follows the idea of Muslim reprisals or jihadist reprisals against the people that did that. You know what? I've really never thought about it, but I think I would be concerned.
Yeah, I mean, what if it was true? What if they did go in? They get him.
An example.
Would you be worried about? Would you be worried about your family? I mean, you're not $1 million person with tons of assets for self-protection. No, you're a soldier.
Well, the USS Vincennes blew up an airplane with 400 souls on it coming out of Iran. Will Rogers, believe it or not, Will Rogers, the guy's name, was the captain of that. And then it was about...
Any relation?
Yeah. Well, isn't that weird? But Will Rogers, a famous Oklahoma native son, his car got bombed in Virginia. In Virginia, it got bombed. No one got hurt, but they try to retaliate against him. So retaliation is in play.
So people could retaliate against you and stab you. Do you want to call it? You want to do it?
Well, here's the thing. So Paul Ryan. Well, again, what we want to do is talk about the Paul Ryan thing at least, because this will probably be the last end deal for about a week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan, again, Wunderkid, great guy. Foreign policy. Yeah, people are kind of still feeling okay about how we're doing in the world. I don't know if it'll hurt. Don't know if it'll hurt him. I think that the foreign policy is seen as being larger than the individual. I think that's why, even though our armed forces will invariably do the right thing.
Yeah,
there are enough people that are career servants that will do the right thing, that no matter who the knucklehead is and that we have to deal with, we'll generally do that, but people feel good about it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Obama did not have any, Biden, Gaff City. I don't know if it'll hurt him, but we'll see. Well, all right. Well, I'm Tim Hunsinger.
Brett Wells, and it's been an exciting, another tremendous, extremely interesting, awesome, ridiculously cool event. We appreciate you checking it out. And
find out
remember,
more about the live stream at the CJ's.
There's a CJ's. There's a Fishbones.
Okay.
And speaking of Fishbones, Don Weaver. What would you not pay to see some craziness like this, right? I'm thinking $100,000. No. $1,000. No. $50. No. Half that. Check it out.
And you had me at 100.
And you have me at 100. All right.
All right. Well, good night. Good luck, and get out of there.
Take it easy.